and welcome back to another video. I know it's long overdue. I haven't posted in a while, I'm going to be honest, and I need to pick up my game, lads. So you'll see a lot more content from me from now. So make sure you're subscribed and that, so you get to see the content on the Golf R and possibly a project car that I'm looking at. But then again, it's early days. It'll probably be a while till I get one, but I will get one in the future. Now what we're going to do today is actually wire in a sub to the Golf R. Now I thought for this, oh, you have to take radio out and shit like that. It's completely different for a VAG. So it's actually a bit more straightforward than fucking about with the centre console, trying to get this whole unit off, because the radio looks like it sits in that whole unit. No, it's actually easier than that. It's in the glove box. So what I've done this morning is I've ripped out the subs that I used to have in the BM. If anyone's watched that video, you know I was running 2 dual Una speakers, so 2 of them, but obviously because the boot's smaller on the Golf, now I'm just going to be running 1, and then probably try and do something else with the other one. Might sell it, might keep it, we'll see. If I've got an idea of what to do with it. If it doesn't work, then obviously I'm going to get rid of it, but yeah, I'm going to keep all that one for now. So what we're going to do, we've got everything set up. I've already ripped out all the stuff from the BM. We're going to start taking panels off, make sure I've got enough wire to actually get to the battery in the front, because the battery is in the back of the BM, but I can use the wiring off the other sub to basically extend my wiring to the positive of the battery in the bonnet, and then just use really short wire in the back as a ground. So what I've done so far is I've just took my spare tyre out and sort of find out where I'm going to put the amp, and I need to find a ground as well. What we're going to do, we're going to send all the wires down the left side of the car, straight through, all the way along these panels, somewhere through the firewall. I'll figure that out in a bit, right to the positive of the battery. Now what you actually do with these for the radio is use this compartment here. Basically going to get some radio keys, pull this out, and I bought an RCA converter which I used on my Fiesta. If anyone's watched that video, it was fucking long ago. But yeah, so what I used on my Fiesta, I think it was when I put my standard radio back in, because I didn't like the Pioneer because it was just shit and looked cheap, and I was actually getting rid of the car as well, so that's why I put it back in. But yeah, so I'm going to use an RCA converter for that, tap into the wires for the speakers, and then that converts the sound from the speakers into low end sound, which will then go to the subwoofer and give us some bass. But for now, I'm just going to concentrate on getting all the wires through the trims. So I'm going to start ripping trims off and stuff, feed the wires through, get the positive on the battery first, because if I don't have enough wiring, there's no point in me doing anything else until I get wiring, but I should do. I'm going to put all the wires together, and then we'll go from there. Right guys, so bit of an update. I've been on this about, say, an hour and a half, and I'll show you what I've got done. So it was actually quite good that all my power cable was in bits. It just made it easier to fit, in my opinion. So I'll show you where I've run the wire. So if you're doing this at home and you're looking at where to put your wire, this is a perfect place to wire it. So we started the engine bay with the power, which is going to go on the positive terminal. This is just a fuse because it's such a big wire and such a high amped amp. I think it's running, I think it's 2000 watts. So it's just got that fuse in there, so it blows there first, but I've got another one of them anyway off the other sub if that does go. So we've run it straight through this arch right here. It wasn't asked to get through there because of how thick the wire is. Obviously if you've got a thinner wire it'll be easier. It actually comes out the top of this foam in your door there. What I've done is I've ran it behind the door mechanism underneath this wire there is a bung. Pulled the bung out, got a cone drill bit and drilled through there, so that's nice and tight so it doesn't let water in. Once you push it through there, it will actually go up, and it will come out somewhere around there where you've got the cut out, and from there the power wire just runs all the way through here. All this is one panel, so you just got to fiddle about with it. Don't rip it all the way off. I just saw, because it was in different bits anyway, I shoved another wire through here, so there's a connection there where I've connected the wires, and there's one there, and then you can literally lift up your seat, which is quite useful. I'm just going straight under the seat and finished in the boot with a black wire because I ran out of blue wire. So yeah, that was fairly simple. It just takes a while fiddling about because the trims are so tight. The ground I'm going to try on here. Obviously if it doesn't work I'll find somewhere else, and I've started to run these wires back through this way, so not from front to back, I've gone from back to front. Basically followed where the power wire went, straight under this seat, straight under these trims, and we've come out at the front here. Now what we need to do is fiddle about with that RCA converter in here, and then we can connect our left and right and find a remote source. I think there is a remote source on the RCA itself, but if not, I'm sure I'll find one behind the glove box. So yeah, let me go grab that part now. I'm going to leave this panel off till I'm all done, obviously just in case we've got an issue with it not working. We can just rip all these off easily. I'll put all these panels back on, so go grab that RCA connector now, and we'll get into wiring into the actual speakers. Right guys, so all I've done so far, I had some Ford radio keys lying about. Luckily they fit, they're exactly the same, so just two in there, pull it, and we can get to the back of this media unit. And I'll show you this RCA converter. So it looks something like this off eBay. Just type in RCA converter subwoofer and something like this will come up. So as it says there, it's a high level to low level converter, so it's converting the high level sounds from your car speakers into low level sounds for your subwoofer output. Now it actually tells you at the bottom there what the wires are for and the color coded. So for example, your left negative is brown, which will then coordinate to the wiring on the back of this media face. So you just want to make sure that your left and right positive and negative link to the left and right positive and negative of the back wiring of this media face. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to disconnect all the wires from the back of here so I can get rid of that media face for now, and then we can start splicing into wires and install this kit. And then all that happens is your left and right of your speaker wires go into here, which will then convert the sound straight to the back of your subwoofer. So it's a fairly simple process, no need to fuck about with the actual radio itself. So let's go on with it. Right lads, so the RCA wiring is done. I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. Basically this was dead easy. I just went onto Google Images, typed in a speaker wiring diagram, Mark 7 Golf, and it came up straight away with a picture that tells you which one's positive, which one's negative, which one's your rear speakers, which one's your front speakers, left and right. So I just wired them to the front, left and right, positive and negative. Obviously you can do them to the rear if you want, but don't really matter as long as you have your fading directly in the middle, so it's coming out of all four speakers. It doesn't really matter which ones you wire it to. So I'll just show you what it looks like now. All the plugs are still off, so you can nicely see how it is, and then we'll start putting everything back together, actually get the sub wired into the amp in the boot, and then we'll do a sound test. Yes lads, so here is the RCA converter. Ignore all these fucking wires, they come out the back of that. You want to look at the sort of maroon coloured plug. So the easiest way I did was lift this black tab up, and you can actually push this through so it comes out of this multi-plug, so you've just got that maroon bit in your hand. It's a lot better to work with. And I literally followed the diagram, lads. As you can see, I've spliced into all the wires. I didn't do a proper job, just fucking spliced it with the wire still on, so I didn't actually cut the wire in half. And then I've just wrapped, split the other wire in half, put it through, twisted it and wrapped it round and stuck it on. But it's not going anywhere, no one's messing with these wires, do you know what I mean? They're not going to move. So yeah, I need to figure out where to put this. I might just leave it in the glove box for now, or I might have to just shove it up there, see if there's enough space. Yeah, I can shove it. Yeah, I can shove it at the back there. So yeah, we'll get that all back in now, and then we'll put the sub. We'll wire that into the amp. Right, lads. So just to summarise the video, I'm literally just going to run through everything I did for my sub. Now this is a couple of days later, so none of the trims are off. I'm literally just going to talk you through what I did. So power wire through the bonnet, as I showed you earlier in the video. It's going to come down here behind these and we're going to go straight into that grommet there, and it'll come up somewhere here. You take this panel off, you're going to run that all the way through to the back of the car, and yeah, all the way to the back of the car, under this trim and under your seat. When you pull this out, you're going to wire in your RCA as I showed on the video, and then you're going to shove once your RCA is wired in and your RCA cables are again under this trim all the way to the back, you're then going to shove the RCA up there. There should be a sort of hole where all the wires for that media port come from. You're just going to shove it up there, push that back in, lock it in place, and yeah, that's about it. And in the boot, I just used the remote light from the 12 volt there, and the sub is sitting nicely there.